We've been tracking the way that President Trump has been able to continue raising money despite the uncertainties in the economy right now as we continue to watch the coronavirus cases spread across the country and across the globe. You wouldn't know that those fears existed if you looked at the way that President Trump and his reelection committee were able to pull in more and more money this last quarter. And for more on that, I want to get to Kristin Myers, who has the details. Kristin?
Hey, Zach. So as you were saying, coronavirus does not seem to be slowing down the fundraising train, so to speak. So I want to give you guys the big overarching number in the last quarter. So that's going to include March and February when coronavirus actually hit the United States here. So from Jan 1 until April 1, RNC and Trump managed to raise over $212 million in the first quarter. Now, I remember you and I were talking during the break. So to put this into context, that's 56 million more than was raised jointly by those two groups in the fourth quarter of 2019. So that's a 36% increase that we are seeing here. And I want to read to you something that was sent to us. I had reached out to the Trump campaign, essentially to ask them if they felt like these donations were slowing down. And the campaign manager, Brad Parscale, said this: Americans can see President Trump leading this nation through a serious crisis, and they are responding with their continued enthusiastic support for his reelection. Joe Biden, Democrats, and the media continue to oppose his every action, but the people know that President Trump is fighting for them, so they are fighting for him as well. So clearly they are saying that they are not really seeing too much of a slowdown. Just 2 weeks ago when we were talking about this with the WinRed numbers that came out, if for everyone that doesn't really remember what WinRed is, that's that online platform that the Republicans use to raise money online. They had said to me, you know what, we were actually expecting some sort of a slowdown, especially as coronavirus really started to spread more rapidly here in the United States. But that really wasn't being borne out in the numbers and in the figures at all. Now, as I mentioned, this is combined totals. That $212 is a combined figure between Trump, the Trump campaign, the Republican National Committee, and all of their fundraising arms. But just for context, in the last quarter of 2019, because we don't have his campaign's individual numbers yet, he raised $46 million. He's raised $232 million in this election cycle alone, and he is going into this with $94 million cash on hand. Joe Biden only has $12 million cash on hand. So he has a significant cash advantage over the Democrats right now, particularly over the presumptive Democratic nominee, Joe Biden.
Yeah, striking difference there in terms of cash on hand. But also, to me at least, when you look at the numbers there, we talk about approval, disapproval rating all the time. But when you think about the money still coming in, that would seem almost, as you were reading the exact quote there, would seem more of an endorsement than just saying, I approve of the job being done right now. Still giving money in times like this would seem to indicate even more confidence.
Absolutely. And we're going to have to wait until those Q2 numbers really come out, because this does include January, February. Now, March really is when coronavirus really started to hit, I think, people's pockets the most here in the United States. So we're going to have to see. Sorry, my phone fell. We're going to have to see in Q2 exactly how many people are willing to dig deep into their pockets, even when they are going through financial struggles of their own, to support the president in his reelection bid. So when those Q2 figures come out, we'll really start to see just how much support the president has, even in times of crisis.
All right, there you go. Kristin Myers bringing us the latest fundraising numbers there. Fingers crossed the screen didn't break on your phone.
I know. I hope not.
Hey investors, Zack Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.